All right. I got this patio or this walkway right here. And I've pretty much got this just about ready and prepped. I just have to put the sand down. But I've got an issue right here. So the height of this walkway is a good 2 inches down from here, and I need this to be flush. So I've got to bring up this patio here, or this walkway. So I need to tear out the bricks all the way down for a little ways, and so I can have a gentle slope up. And we're gonna have to, I do not want to add 2 more inches of sand, so I've got to kind of take the existing sand out of there, put some more base material in there, then some sand. I want to do this right. Long story short, I need to tear the pavers out so I can slope it up. So I also have a really low spot right here. The guys that put the paver walkway in from the beginning, they sloped it in this direction so the water would slough off. But over time, the grass has heaved on that side, and so water is always collecting right here, and it always is super wet and moist in this section. So what I want to do is take the pavers out all the way to around here, bring the height of the base up, and then relay the pavers down. I know that's a crazy amount of work, but what do, you know? I want to fix it. I want to do it right. Really quick, just going to give a quick little update on the grow-in. The last video I did was on Monday. I filmed the grow-in progress update on Monday. I showed you these hoof prints from the cows. Lots of cows, lots of idiots on bikes. I showed you the bicycle tracks, which are here. And I got an idiot on a bicycle. So that's a pisser offer. So stupidity breeds more stupidity. So see all the rest of these tracks here. Those are other idiots on other bicycles. So I haven't done anything with the bike tracks. So I did a little bit of tamping down with my foot like this, and actually that works pretty dang good. So I think what I'll do is actually get my reel mower out, and I'm gonna roll it across these tracks, see if I can kind of smash these things down. I really need to be working on the paver, but I want to get the reel mower out and run it over there and see what happens. So let's do that. So here's my new machine right here. This is a Toro Greensmaster 1600, and she's got a groomer on her, which is awesome. I think I paid around 1,500 bucks for this. So I'm going to use this machine right here to roll some of the imperfections in the grass here and see if I can kind of flatten them out a little bit. Those butthead kids on the bike came through here and did their damage. So I'm just going to leave the reel off and roll it and see what happens. All right, so it is very wet. It's kind of a little bit risky walking on this as is because it's very wet, and that's why the ruts are so deep. But if you can see here on the left is where I've rolled, and it actually made a pretty big difference. And on the right, I did not roll that tire track. It worked well, but it's kind of mashing down the baby grass. So this is kind of the worst fender area right here. That was probably a good 2 inches down at one point. I have not touched it since, but it worked pretty good with a roller. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to let this dry out for just a little bit, although I don't really want to let it dry out because I have that really dry spot right there, and I pretty much have no germination there, which sucks. So I think what I'm going to do is let it dry out just a touch and come over here tomorrow and put another pound of seed down. 1 more pound of seed per 1,000. I did 3 pounds per 1,000, and it is actually green. It's growing in, but I think I'm gonna put down 1 more pound per 1,000 tomorrow and lay it down, and then I'll take the mower and roll the whole yard. I've got these cow prints here, which the cows don't know any different, and then I've got the idiots on the bike. So you can also see right here, just where I ran the mower over here, kind of smashed it down. Got a dry spot right there. That isn't getting much germination at all. But over here, you can see lots of green. Lots of green through here. Not a lot of germination there. Lots of green up by the flower bed over there. There's lots of green. This kind of center section is struggling, I guess. So, all right, so the idiots on the bicycles video that I did a few videos ago, I showed the footage from my security camera of the guy running over the lawn with the bicycle, and then I showed the guy in the driveway coming up, and then I showed the cows from the security camera. And I just want to say one thing. So I had an overwhelming response on that video. The comments are crazy on that video, and I just want to thank you guys for your participation and for your concern. I realize that it does suck, but there's really nothing I can do about it. It's just not worth trying to go after anybody for it, and it's just not a big deal. The damage is done and it's over. So I'm not crying over spilled milk, although I'd like to. The damage is done and I just have to make the best of it. So here's the deal. I thought a lot about that video and about those guys that ran over my lawn. The cows are one thing, but the bikes are a different thing. Those were teenagers. I looked at the footage really slowly, and those guys were teenagers. If you guys remember the days when you were a teenager, that kind of explains it. Teenagers make dumb decisions. When I was a teenager, I made some really dumb decisions. So I'm kind of figuring that this is just my payback for all the dumb things and all the grief that I caused other people when I was a teenager. My parents, the leaders, the different people in my life, I'm sure I caused some people some grief. Those guys on the bike, they'll get their payback. I'm not worried about them. It will come back to them and they will pay for that. It might not be now, but maybe when they become adults later on and they're doing something, some stupid teenagers are gonna come, break their window, steal something from them, break into their house. Who knows what's gonna happen, but they'll pay, you know, for doing that. They knew better than to do that, but they did it, and it is what it is, and I just don't care. It's not a big deal, but they will pay. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this. It's just a payback for all the grief that I might have caused somebody when I was a teenager. So take it for what it's worth, but that's how I'm dealing with it. It's not a big deal, but you guys were awesome in the comment section. I loved reading those comments on that video. They were just #1 classic, pure goodness stuff. So let's get on to this other project and move this thing forward.